One of the first and most important steps when you're getting started with Garmin Pilot is setting up an aircraft profile. Without it, you won't be able to calculate weight and balance, and you won't have good performance figures for your flight plans. In this video, I'll walk you through the 2 ways to set up a new aircraft in the Garmin Pilot app. By the end, you'll have a properly configured aircraft profile that'll give you numbers for weight and balance, fuel planning, and performance figures. If you're flying a common aircraft model, odds are there's already a pre-downloaded profile that'll get you 90% of the way there. Let's walk through the process. So to add a new aircraft profile, we will click on Home, we will go to Settings, the Aircraft tab, and then Add an Aircraft. And you can see down here we have a list of the aircraft manufacturers where these presets are located. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to scroll down to your manufacturer and then select your model. I'm just going to go with Piper Dakota right here. We will hit Continue. And then we will select that we want to import basic data, performance, and weight and balance. And then we'll hit Continue once again. So now we need to enter in some basic information. We've got our max fuel capacity of 72 gallons. I need to put in my empty weight of 1832. And then my empty CG of 83.3 inches. Keep in mind, those last 2 figures will be unique to your specific airframe. Don't use my numbers. We'll hit Done. And then now we've got the Edit Aircraft screen pulled up. Okay, in the identifier field, you'll put your tail number. I'm just going to put test in here to make sure that I don't use this profile for an actual flight. And then your filing type, the model category, and weight turbulence category should already be in there. Now you just need to add the color. So we will say it's a base color of white with blue accents. And you can add as many accent colors as you need. And then this airplane is based in Bolivar, so I will select Mike 17 right here. The propulsion type is constant speed, and for our gear type, I will go ahead and select wheels. The maximum takeoff weight and the maximum brake horsepower is already in there. I will unsubscribe from proposed routing notifications, but you can leave that turned on if you'd like. And then we need to select our equipment list. So for equipment, let's go ahead and we've got VHF, I've got DME, I've got GPS, ILS, and VOR. And then for surveillance equipment, I would like to put Mode S with altitude reporting, and then we need ADS-B in and out. Should be right. These will also be specific to your exact airframe, so just select the type of equipment that you have. And then I won't worry about PBN. For fuel units, let's go ahead and add a fuel amount at tabs. On the Dakota, it's 50 gallons. This is not a requirement, but it is really handy in the weight and balance field. You can do quick set fuel and you can select full or tabs as opposed to having to just type in 50 gallons every single time. All this information should be preset. You can overwrite the taxi fuel burn amount if you would like. Honestly, 1.8 gallons is probably high. It's probably overly conservative for my application, just because Bolivar is such a small airport. However, if you're based out of a Charlie or a Bravo airport, you may want to leave that there. Just like I said, it can be overridden if you want to increase or decrease that figure. So the glide ratio and best glide speed is already in there. So let's just move on to select our survival equipment. For emergency radios, I have VHF on 121.5 and I have an ELT. For ELT type, it is an automatic fixed ELT. And then I don't have any survival equipment or dinghies in the aircraft. And we can move to the performance tab. But before we move to the performance tab, there are 2 options down here. So you can import these settings from another aircraft. So if you're just making like a duplicate aircraft profile, or if you have one that's very similar, you can copy from an existing local aircraft down here. And then you can choose to clone this exact configuration and it'll just make another copy for further modification. Okay, on the performance tab, this is where it gets really, really handy to have this preset information because your cruise, climb, and descent data is already there. So there's no importing massive tables of information. Your service ceiling has populated, you can't override that. And what that's gonna do is just cap the recommended altitudes for that specific airframe. I mean, I don't have oxygen in the airplane, so I could technically lower that down to 14.5, but it's whatever you want to do there. And then for custom adjustments, you can do airspeed or fuel burn adjustments. So I do find like 11.4 gallons an hour in a Dakota is probably pretty conservative. I don't know if they're running that at peak or lean of peak, but I'm probably going to go ahead and add about 5% to that just because I like to plan around 12 and a half gallons in cruise. Worst case, I have more fuel than planned, so there's nothing wrong with that. I would rather it be that way than not having as much fuel as planned. Your default altitude and default performance configurations can be adjusted with every flight plan. So you're not really married to these numbers, but this is just what's going to automatically be thrown in a flight plan. Our ground level is about 1,000 feet MSL, so I'll probably go ahead and just do like a 3,500 foot default altitude, and then performance 70-75% is good. If you don't have wheel pants, you can go ahead and turn wheel fairings removed on, and that'll be the default configuration, but we've got wheel pants. We'll leave that guy on. And then we can move to weight and balance. Again, this is saving you a lot of time because the CG envelope is already put in there for the normal category. The Dakota doesn't operate under utility, but if you had like 172 that can run in the utility category, it'll probably also be in there. So all we had to put in there was our empty CG and our empty weight, and then it put the rest in, which is amazing. But just in case you want to modify some of these fields, you can change your empty weight and your empty CG here. So if you add a new GPS, whatever, do some sort of modification, you need to update those figures. You're not married to them. You don't have to make a new profile. You can go in and edit these. Here you can specify a maximum ramp weight. So the Dakota's is just 11 pounds over the 3,000 pound max takeoff weight. Stations can be viewed and or modified here. Equipment, if you have like temporary equipment that you add, so I don't know, like different avionics or a camera rig or spray equipment, you can add some optional equipment here, and installed by default can be on or off, and then that will be like an additional slider on the weight and balance page, so you can install and uninstall that equipment in your weight and balance calculation with every time. So that's really handy. You don't have to like manually add to the calculation. Now the advanced screen, most of us GA guys probably won't use that, but you can do like combined weight restrictions or weight minimums for cargo aircraft here. And then if you have any required placards for weight and balance, you can add those placards here as well. So you've got them digitally. So we saw it briefly, but here is our normal category envelope. It's already in there from the factory, so we should be good. And we can just hit done, and our weight and balance is complete. Okay, so here in checklist, we can do one of two things. We can import it from an existing aircraft. So if we have an existing manufacturer, or if we choose later down the road to copy over the manufacturer's checklist, you can do that here. Or you can select from a pre-configured checklist binder. So like I already have a set of checklists for the Dakota, so I can go ahead and import that and tie that checklist to this tail number. Don't be worried if you haven't made a checklist binder yet, you can make that later. So if you don't want to add a checklist, just hit save, and now we've got our aircraft profile, and we can make that later. Okay, so if you were lucky enough to be able to select your aircraft from a list of manufacturers, you're done. You're good to go. You can quit watching this video. But if you need to manually create your aircraft profile, now let's walk through how to do that. So from our aircraft screen, we will hit add aircraft again, and we'll click new aircraft model. So this brings us to the setup screen, but you'll notice not any fields are filled in. So let's start filling some fields in. So your identifier is going to be your tail number. Again, I'm going to do test 2. And then my filing type for a Dakota will be AP28A. You'll type in your aircraft type here. Category is airplane. And then you can go ahead and add your color. So we've got base of white and an accent color of blue like before. Our base airport is Bolivar, so it's Mike 17. And then my propulsion type is a constant speed propeller. Gear type will be wheels. And my maximum takeoff weight, now this will be out of your POH, I just know from heart is 3,000 pounds, but you'll put your max takeoff weight. And then your maximum brake horsepower on a Dakota is 235. Specify your preferred fuel unit of measure here. My default fuel, this is just going to be what it's going to assume your starting fuel is in a flight plan. So I would recommend either choosing full tanks or tabs, whatever you frequent most. I'm going to go ahead and put default fuel of full tanks at 72. Usable fuel at full is 72 gallons, and then usable fuel at tabs is 50 gallons. And then my fuel type is 100 low lead. So default altitude is just going to be the assumption that it makes in a flight plan. I'll probably put it in at 3,500 feet. And my cruise true air speed, I will put in at 135 knots with a burn rate of 12 gallons an hour. I would recommend, even though that these next fields are optional, I would recommend you put them in because it's going to make the performance calculations more accurate. You may not know these figures yet, and that's okay. Just make a guess and make a conscious effort to come back when you're a little more experienced and put these in. The more accurate you get these, the more accurate your flight plans will be. So my climb rate, I will just assume 500 foot per minute at 120 knots. And my climb burn rate, oh boy, 18. My descent rate, I'll do the same 500 feet per minute, and we'll go ahead and plan 150 knots on the descent with my burn rate at, I don't know, I guess 10. Now we'll do 9.5. Okay, so that's the bare minimum information you need there. So then let's just hit save, and it'll bring us up to the editing screen where we need to add a few more. So now you'll see the model and variant needs to be added. So we are a PA28-236 aircraft type. My wake turbulence code will be light. It's based off your gross weight. If you want to subscribe to ATC proposed route notifications, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And then we need to select our common nav equipment. So I've got VHF, I've got DME, GPS, ILS, VOR, and then none of this stuff. And then for our surveillance equipment, I've got mode S with altitude reporting. And then I've got ADSB in and out. We will not worry about PBN. We have already entered the fuel information, but we can go ahead and add a taxi burn rate. So I will assume just 1 gallon burned in taxi. So my glide ratio is 7:1 with my best glide speed at 85. And once again, I'm getting this information out of the POH, and it will be specific to your exact aircraft. My emergency radios, I have VHF on 121.5 and an ELT. And my ELT is fixed automatic. I have no dinghies. So now clicking on the performance tab, you'll see that we already have the cruise data in here, but we only have one data point. So if you can find this chart in your POH and add your true airspeed and your fuel flow for the different altitude levels, that would be great. And that would let it give you more accurate calculations. Otherwise, you can run just with the assumption here of 135 knots and 12 gallons an hour at all altitudes. I would recommend making that conservative. I wouldn't plan on your 12,000 foot fuel burn when flying at 2,500 feet. It just sounds like a good recipe to get in trouble. If you don't have access to that chart, maybe make it a project to go to these different flight levels. Choose one power setting for all of it and just see what it trues out at and what your fuel flow is. And then the more you build this, the more accurate your flight plans will be. So I just recommend you do that for your cruise, your climb, and your descent is all the exact same. The other thing you could do is go try to find something similar. So maybe there is an aircraft model that has the same engine or the same style airframe as you that you could go kind of piggyback some numbers off of on a different model and just get some good information in here for the performance data. We do need to come here and add our service ceiling. So I know in the Dakota is 17.5. And then we can do our custom adjustments. So we can increase or decrease kind of like a margin of safety or margin of error on these numbers. So if you want to be conservative with your fuel, you can bump that up 5%. It'll just plan on using more fuel than what's been put in here. And then you can select your default altitude and default performance configuration if you have performance information in there. All right, so let's configure weight and balance. This is another fun one. So we can go ahead and configure our weight and balance here. And I will leave the utility category turned off because we can't operate the utility category in the Dakota. But if you're flying like a 172 or something that can operate the utility category, you can activate that envelope here. You can see now you have these two envelopes. Same with the acrobatic and the external loading envelopes as well. You do want to specify your units of measure. And down here in our empty configuration, we're going to start putting in some information. So our empty weight is 1,832 pounds. And our empty CG is 83.3 inches. Now keep in mind, every time you make a modification to the airframe, whether you install or uninstall something, these numbers will need to change whenever a new weight and balance document is required. Based off of that information, it automatically calculates the empty moment. And then now let's add our maximum ramp weight, which is 3,011 pounds. And we have our maximum takeoff weight of 3,000 pounds. Maximum landing weight is also 3,000. And I will probably not worry about zero fuel, minimum weight, or in-flight weights. If you have a retractable gear aircraft that causes a moment shift when you pull that gear up, you can enter in that retraction moment here. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and move on to stations. So stations are going to be the areas within the airplane that you can add loading. So obviously we will have the front seats with every single aircraft. So just make that say front seat, not front. Front seats. Choose the number of seats. If there's a maximum weight capacity, you can do that there. And then we'll put it in at an arm of 80.5 inches. We can go ahead and add our back seats. Again, no maximum weight with an arm of 118.1 inches. Save station. And then we can go ahead and add our cargo. So we will want to change it to baggage. Name. Baggage is fine. We do have a maximum weight restriction back there of 200 pounds. And then my arm on baggage is 142.8 inches. Save that station. And then lastly, we'll add our fuel station. Should be fuel capacity of 72 gallons. And our arm is 95 inches. Save that station. And now we've got all of our weight stations on here. So now that we have our stations entered, you have options to add optional equipment stations. So if you have sprayers or a camera rig or anything like that that you want to be able to toggle on and off in your weight and balance sheet, you can do that here. And then in the advanced section, you can add like combined or minimum or maximum weight restrictions or placards to remain compliant for commercial operations. So moving on to the envelopes, now this is where it's going to get a little tedious. So you have to manually import the outer bounds of your CG envelope from the POH. So like I'll pull it up, you can see on the POH here we have our CG graph and all of those external points, like where there's a corner, I need to add those points. So let's go ahead and add a point, and it's just a weight and a CG figure on the X and the Y axis. So we will add 1,700 pounds and 79.78. And you just need to get close with these. Like I know the exact figures because I pulled them out, but just look at the graph and get close. Err on the side of being conservative. So err on the side of your envelope being smaller as opposed to it being bigger and running the risk of operating outside of weight and balance. I'll just go ahead and add all these figures and then we'll come back. Okay, so now we've got this nice pretty envelope for our normal category. If you operate in the utility category, it won't be grayed out here, and then you just need to go and do the exact same thing for your utility CG. When we've got that all entered, let's just hit done. And then we can move on to checklists. So if you already have checklists made up, you can select your checklist binder here. It's like I already have one for the Dakota, so I can import my normal, abnormal, and emergency checklists. Or if you want to import them from a list of manufacturers, you can come to import from aircraft, and here are your manufacturers and your models. You can also copy checklists from local aircraft profiles saved as well. So if you have two 172s, you can copy that over and just make modifications to the exact tweaks for the airframe. You can also share this aircraft profile with somebody else. So if somebody else has Garmin Pilot, you can share that, airdrop it, text it to them, whatever, and then they can save that directly from their device into their Garmin Pilot and not have to manually put it in again. Once we have all this information put in here, we can hit save, and there you go. Now you've got your aircraft profile. If you need to come back and modify it, you can always click on it and get back to this page. But like I said, really the only thing you should have to modify on there is going to be your CG whenever you make a modification. Once your aircraft profile is complete, you can accurately file flight plans, calculate weight and balance, and do fuel planning. Making sure that this is accurately configured now, make sure that you can take full advantage of the entire suite of tools available to you in Garmin Pilot. If you found this video helpful, be sure to check out my other Garmin Pilot videos. I've got a full playlist with things like advanced weather, how to make checklists, and how to file a flight plan. Thanks for watching this video till the end. It really means a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.